PR Stunt. All right, guys, how are you doing?
Great. Good.
Good, good. Okay, you've got a brand new CD coming of original music.
All originals.
First, go ahead and introduce yourselves.
I'm Paul Rogers, Battle Creek, Michigan.
Norman Light, Marshall, Michigan.
Cool, cool. You guys have been jamming for a while. Tell us about this new CD. You got 11 originals on this.
Yeah, we got 11 originals. I think what was it? We met up like a year and a half ago or something like that. A little bit longer than that. And I saw him at one of the Chameleon shows. Turns out he's actually our drummer's son. So he used to come out to some of the shows, and then he was just like, we should record something sometime, and just kind of took him up on the offer, and this is the product after recording for over a year and a half.
Oh, very good.
So, yeah, it started off with a couple songs, and just kind of added our way.
All right. Tell us about the writing of the music. Let's start with number one. Looking for a Friend Tonight.
Looking for a Friend started in my basement. He would just go on these little tangents with the guitar, just all kinds of crazy licks and runs, and he would leave them in my house, and I would edit them in the way that I thought sounded good, and I sent it to him the next day, and he was like, oh yeah, we got to turn this into a song. So that one kind of started backwards almost. It started with fills and leads rather than lyrics and a purpose, really.
Yeah.
And then we just kind of built it from there, and it turned out to be probably one of our favorites on the album. That's why we put it number one.
The lyrics, how did they develop?
Norman, I came up with some lyrics that didn't really work out, and then he left me a melody to kind of record to, and it was just nonsense. He was sputtering out no word. I was like,
yeah, pretty much. And I believe they call that scat, which I had never known beforehand.
Right. So then he left, and I put, made lyrics to it, and he came back and he's like, oh, this is perfect. And so once again, we started verse with the verses and then added a chorus, which is kind of backwards as far as writing.
But I think we actually knew from an early point, at least after you had kind of turned it into somewhat of a little like beat and song rhythm to go to, that Looking for a Friend Tonight was something that we wanted.
Yeah.
That had to be like the whole like
premise.
Yeah, the premise of it, and then we just kind of pictured like, two guys going out on the town for a fun night or whatever,
Right.
That's just kind of
it really worked out, just weirdly how it kind of came together.
Yeah, because he wrote lyrics first, and I thought, man, that's perfect, and then mine just kind of coupled right in there with him. So.
Yeah.
All right. Paul, take off your hat. Because the next one is Let Your Hair Down. Neither one of you have a lot of hair to let down. Tell us about that one.
That's written to, the uptight women, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, it was written.
No, that's not true. You could go to a guy. It's a new day and age we live in.
That's true. I know.
But maybe that was our inspiration. Maybe we know a couple girls.
Right, yeah.
They need to let their hair down.
Right.
We all know.
Need to relax.
Not me. I'm plenty relaxed. Putting the hat back.
Yeah.
Cold in here. Man, it's turned the heat on.
Yeah. All right. That was the inspiration, was about kind of loosening up and that type of thing?
Right, yeah. Norman kind of came up with once again, we started backwards on that one. Started with the music first, and then we built a premise for the song along, a couple days later. And just kind of fit.
Yeah, it kind of felt like a laid back sort of.
Yeah, that's the one when we show people, it's kind of like, well, that's like a Jack Johnson-y kind of mellow, laid back, and the lyrics kind of fit it.
Yeah. Let
your hair down, relax,
Okay. Yeah. What style would you call it?
That one definitely more of a Jack Johnson-y, Dave Matthews, just kind of, I don't know. I'm trying to say Jack Johnson.
Yeah, no, somebody put it the other way when they were talking, because there's been a couple people who listen to the CD now, and somebody described our music as like, it's like harder Jack Johnson. It's like everything you wish Jack Johnson would have done. Because Jack Johnson was always very cool, but he's always so chill, and it's like sometimes you just gotta rock out and you gotta like hit a little harder. So that was some way somebody described it, and I was like, that's so far I think might be the best sort of, I guess, overall kind of sound that you could give us. I still wouldn't put it just in that category, but you know, it's a good start. So.
All right, but it's not a country song. So what type of song is it?
It's a country song. For sure.
It's number 3. Yes.
Country song.
I guess not a country song. The not part in there is just, you know, if you listen to it, it's about kind of being challenged to write a country song. And in the song I talk about, which is a true story, my uncle, when I was younger, I showed him a song I wrote, and he was like, well, you should try and write a country song, because that's a real challenge. And after trying it a couple times, I realized what he meant. Like, it's a different kind of battle you're fighting. It's more of a story you're trying to tell, and that's what the song is. It's kind of a story, and it's kind of answering my uncle's challenge. Like, this is a country song as far as I'm concerned. Maybe you won't consider it one, but it's definitely under the genre of country, but it's it's one of our different songs. You know, we have a lot of different genres. We tackle a lot of different blues, rock, country.
Yeah, I think that was kind of our big thing, was that we didn't really, I mean, because we both just like really, there's all types of music, a ton of different genres, and I feel like we're kind of getting to that point now in music, not just with us, but what you see with like a lot of big artists these days, is that like really pigeonholing yourself into like one genre is just kind of like, you know, what's the point? Like, who's benefiting from that? If it's a good song or if it's good music, who cares if you're country or rock or pop or rap or whatever? It's just a good song. So that was kind of, I think, probably how Paul's looking at that one, and just, you know, we don't really care what the genre is as long as it's a good song. And that one, definitely a great one.
Let's talk about what instruments you guys play and what you're playing on the CD.
Norman is definitely our exclusive lead guitarist. He does most of the rhythm guitar. I do a little bit of rhythm guitar. He's exclusively the bass player, almost all the bass. His dad Jerry did a couple bass lines for us, which definitely helped out because they were really good. He's a great bass player. And as far as percussion goes, that's me on a MIDI controller, because we don't have a drummer or the drum set.
Yeah. Any type of drums. Really all we have is this guitar, a plug into the computer, and that's pretty much it.
Right.
There's on a microphone too.
And when we started out, we wanted to split vocals, because Norman's got an incredible voice, and I'm pretty good with the harmonies and pitch control and all that, but it's kind of, we were splitting songs in half. I'll sing the first half, you'll sing the second half, but as we've developed, it's become more, okay, this is going to be your song, it's going to be my song, which I kind of like a little bit better.
Yeah.
So...
That's just kind of what fits too. I mean, you know, we're not trying to force anything. It's all about the music.
Right. We've got one harmonica song, and that was me. I'm starting to get into the harmonica a little bit, but those are all the instruments on there, I think.
I think for the most part, yeah. And, you know, it's not like you don't play any lead guitar too, because on, not looking back, but what's number 10? You know, and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
You play, I mean, even on a country song too, and that's, you know, considered lead too. So I feel like, you know, we both kind of play the whole gamut of like everything, but you know, I guess it's just kind of different playing styles probably, is I would say the biggest factor.
Okay, number 4 is Two of Clubs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun one. That was another one where Norman kind of came up with a really catchy little guitar riff and built around that. The lyrics are kind of focused around breaking up with a girl and kind of being out there on your own for the first time in a while.
Is that what it's about?
Yeah. You should listen to the lyrics.
That's a problem. I've never been a lyrics guy, so this is news to me too.
And I also incorporated a little bit of poker into it, that's what I do for a living right now. I deal poker at the casino, so it was kind of some innuendos in there, and that's why it's called Two of Clubs. Thought it would be fun to throw that in there, and I think it's one of my favorites. It's really a different song.
Yeah, I feel like that's one of those songs that, you know, if you've listened to the album like 100 times, then maybe some of the other ones you'll have heard multiple times. You're like, yeah, I've been there. But it's like that one, every time I listen to it, at least personally, it's like I still find something new.
Yeah.
Or something that I'm like, oh, that's cool, you know, like the lyrics. I'm still listening to all the lyrics and you know, just really dicing everything apart. It's just, I like that song, it's a cool song. And all the analogies and the innuendos that you're talking about in the lyrics, I have heard those and they're very cool. It's probably my favorite in that regard. So.
All right, looking back.
Looking back was a really quick one. That was one where we were putting together the album. We had all the songs that we thought we wanted, and we were just kind of hanging out, drinking some beer. And Norman's like, you know, let's work on a song. And I came up with the rhythm of that one actually. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you were like, just do put some chords together, and then he threw in some lead, and we both wrote lyrics. He wrote lyrics actually in the kitchen while I was recording. That was crazy. He came in from the kitchen really like, oh, I got the first verse written. Oh, all right.
Yeah, that was really fast.
And yeah, we wrote that song. That was like
that whole song.
I don't compare the song to it, but you hear that story about John Lennon writing, You've Got to Hide Your Love Away in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's one of the best songs ever by the Beatles. And so it's like, that was our quick one. And one of the few people we've shown the album to, he said, man, I wish that song went longer. I was like, well, it was a quickie. Like, we started it, stopped it in a day or two.
Yeah.
All right, Brighter Days.
Brighter Days, that was one he started, and that was actually, I thought, just going to be his whole song. And then he asked me to do something on it, and so I just kind of fiddled around and tried to come up with something to fit in there. But he put together, you know, he started off with sort of the ukulele, that's another instrument we're playing. So ukulele, there's a ton of weird sounds in that song, and you know, it was all him. I mean, really, all the harmonies and everything, it was all him. And then I just kind of came in with the guitar part and the bass line a little bit later once it was mostly finished.
Yeah, it was, you know, I did a lot of the recording, but Norman kind of would give me the input on, well, you should kind of cut this short, you should, you know, extend this part. And even the songs where he's not involved as much or I'm not involved as much recording-wise, they're all, our 2 cents are always in there. You can always tell where, you know, helping each other out where you think advice is needed. So that song, that's another different one.
Yeah.
Which I think's one of my favorites as well.
Yeah, it's definitely one. That's another one very much like Two of Clubs, I feel like, where you'll listen to it, you know, after 100 times, and that one will still stick out to you, and you'll be like, oh, I heard something new or noticed something new. So it's a cool song. You know,
good one.
Like
Fade into the Blue.
That was our very first song.
That was the first one, yeah.
That was the very first time. I mean, that was just like, starting from absolutely nothing. That was after he said, you know, you should come over and record sometime. I took him up on the offer. And let's see, I'd actually figured something out on that. Or I'd figured out a riff that I liked on here, which is just a loop pedal. And we just found it the other day. The actual original version of it is still down there, still in that memory. But yeah, it was just kind of something I was like, well, I got to go to his place with something to record, or like, you know, have something to do. So, yeah.
Yeah, you brought that over and you showed it to me. I'm like, oh, that's a song right there. And I think you were kind of like, well, it's something.
Yeah.
And you left it on my computer, and I, you know, turned it into a first verse and a chorus, and you're like, okay,
right.
I think we can actually make songs.
Yeah. Yeah, that was when I realized, like, you can give this guy like 10 seconds of something to work with, and he'll just build an entire song out of the whole thing, you know, with all these different parts and harmonies, and it's crazy. But yeah, so that was our very, very first song, to just kind of test the waters, I guess, and, you know, see what we could do.
Well, let's talk about the recording experience. Where are you doing it, and what are you doing it on?
We're doing it in my living room. We've got I've got Logic Pro software, Logic Pro 9.
Wait a second, we've had a couple different studios.
That's true.
Yeah. We had the apartment living room, we've had the basement room downstairs. Yeah. Now we're in the living room.
Right.
The list goes on.
Currently, we're in my living room.
Yeah.
And just with the technology these days, you can make, you know, quality sounding music and recordings anywhere, and it's just incredible. We've gotten lucky with software and the mics of today's musicians, and it's It's really easy. Once you dedicate the time and a little bit of money, you know, you need to get the best you can at the time, and you know, once you get those few things, a good microphone, good software, and put a little time into it, then
yeah, that's the thing that kind of blew me away about the first time that we started recording, was that I couldn't believe, I mean, really, like the sound quality that we get out of these, you know, I compare them to what I hear on the radio, and I'm like, man, to any average listener, especially like kids these days, they're like, they'll listen to stuff on their cell phone speakers, like, you know, audio quality is, I'm not saying I'm happy that it's like, you know, it's sometimes not the best, but I mean, as far as our audio quality goes, like, I'm really proud of it. And
yeah,
especially the work, you know, that he's put into like mixing it, and like, and it sounds really good. I mean, we get compliments on how good it sounds, and that's all done with just a computer, a microphone, and like a guitar and something to plug that in.
right.
You know,
It's not studio quality, but it's close enough for what we.
I'd argue it was.
I mean, I would too in some aspects, but if you want to get super picky, it's not perfect, but
Right.
it's close. It's incredible how close it is.
Yeah,
for what we
to
put
the
in.
average listener, I feel like it's, you know, they wouldn't be able to tell the difference really. So it's,
Well, you're doing it on a PC. What software are you using?
It's Logic Pro 9.
Logic Pro 9.
Started with Logic.
on a Mac, right?
Oh yeah, it's on my Mac.
It's on a Mac.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, started with Logic 4 or 5, and bumped up to Logic 9. Now they have Logic 10, but they're all very user friendly, and once you get used to one of them, the upgrades aren't too difficult to figure out where they've advanced. And he's on Logic. You have Logic 10.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got Logic 10, which has been really easy. Unfortunately, my computer kind of crapped out on me, so I haven't really been able to work with it.
But that's what I recommend to anybody, especially beginners.
Does it work on Mac and Win
I don't
or
think
not?
it works.
It's got to be Mac.
I think it's a Mac only, is it?
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I think
Like
it's
Mac,
a lot
yeah.
easier, probably more native to Macs.
Before I had
Yeah.
Logic, though, I had Cool Edit, and I had a Fruity Loops. I had a couple other softwares, and Logic definitely not the way to go. There's another one out there that everybody swears. Pro Tools.
Pro Tools. Yeah.
Pro Tools is the other. It's like those are the two defining leaders, and I've heard they're either one, but Logic's definitely hasn't done us wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, weighted 4 feet. Brittany backs on the tracks.
Brittany backs on the tracks.
Yeah.
That's my fiance. She helped us with that one. She sang the chorus for it. And one of the verse. Yeah, she sang the chorus and a verse. She's got a really good voice, real powerful, and that was a song we worked on, me and Brittany, in my living room. Just thought it was going to be like a solo project, and I sent it to Norman. He did 2 different solos for it, and yeah, he did rhythm guitar to it. He did. Yeah, he sent some rhythm, he sent some fills, and he sent the lead 2 different lead guitar solos, and I was blown away. I'm like, oh well, this is going to be a PR Stunt song, because this guitar is going to define the song just as much as anything else. So,
Yeah.
and the solo on that song blows me away. I love it.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite solos too.
No, very good. Was she the inspiration for it, or?
Not really. She's
You got to pay the muse a lot of money, so you don't want to ever claim that. Yeah.
She's wanted to record with me for a while, and just, I don't know, we've never really sat down and worked on a song together. And for that one, it was kind of, the lyrics kind of went back and forth between a guy and a girl. And so I was like, well, this is a good time. Good as time as any. Got her on there, and she did really well.
All right, who's the redhead?
Oh, that would be me, yeah. No, not me, but definitely, probably one of my songs, I guess. I don't know if I'm the only one who sings on it, so I mean, it's technically, I guess.
That's definitely a Norman song. He did almost all the, he did all the guitar, the bass, the lyrics, the singing.
Yeah.
I put the percussion to it and mixed it, and it's a really good song. That was one of our favorite. We kind of hit a dead end on it for a while and didn't really know where to go with it.
Yeah.
And finally finished it, and we're both really happy with that one.
Yeah.
Who is the redhead though?
I don't know.
Put him on the spot real quick.
Yeah, I don't know. Just it's Emma Stone.
There,
Emma
ooh,
Stone.
yeah. What a,
Yeah. Hey Emma, what up?
That's such a cop out.
I know. Hey, you know,
It's a good one though. I saw her last night on the Oscars.
Thanks.
What are redheads? They're like 15% of the population.
Something like that. There needs to be more of them though, right?
Why are they 80% of the women I've ever dated? And I don't get to choose the women. You know, they choose me. I'm stuck out there.
Something weird going on.
Well, something's weird about
Yeah,
that.
there's attraction thing going on.
I don't know.
Well, now you got a song for them though.
Yeah. And then half the time I just got to run away from them. So number 10 is run away.
No count. Oh, yeah, there you go.
Very nice segue. That was nice.
Yeah.
Runaway was that was one of mine that I just started. A lot of times when you hit writer's block in certain songs, you'll start another one just to record. And that was when I just kind of started recording, and I had that first line stuck in my head that I knew I wanted to put into a song somewhere because it's just a really cool lyric. And so I started that one from the first lyric on. Started it, really liked it, and built the rest of the song around it. And it turned out to be I love that song. A couple guys at work, handed our CD out to a couple people at work, and I've gotten a couple comments on that one. Like, it's real catchy and just
Yeah, that's the one that'll get stuck in your head.
yeah, it's not complex and just real simple, but it's real catchy. And, real proud of that one. I like that one.
All right. There she was.
That was kind of a funny story. It just that was one I just started with a couple. I don't know, like a doo-wop-y kind of feel at the beginning.
Right. Did you start the lyrics first, or the singing first, or did you just do the piano?
I did the singing first, and the piano came in, and I sent it to him, and I sent this weird little intro on the mic. Like
Man,
Norman.
talk about sending a weird intro. So I was just laying down. I was about to go take a nap in the middle of the day one of these days, and I had my computer. I was like, oh, I got an email from Paul. And, you know, anytime it's like email from him, that means something with the music, so I get excited about it. So I was like, oh, I got to listen to this before I go to bed. And put my headphones in, and this dude made like a minute-long intro or something, which is easy on the software, but to like people like you and me who aren't very software savvy, like I put my headphones in, and it's like Norman, and all these things, and like he did these things, and he's like talking to me, and I was just like freaking out while I'm listening to it. And then all of a sudden the music starts in it, and it's just as he put it in that intro, it's a real simple piano thing, and you're probably not going to like it, but, if you can come up with a guitar part for it, and, like, immediately, as soon as it, like, kicked in, I was like, I'm not taking a nap right now. Like, ran out here, and, like, got my guitar on, sat out here, and, probably within an hour or two, like, had, one of my favorite, like, guitar parts to, like, send back to him.
Very Eric Clapton-y guitarist. He sent it back, and I'm like, oh, man, it was it reminded me of Clapton, and it was just, like, perfect contrast to what I sent him, with those like heavy harmonies and piano to this, roaring Clapton guitar sound in the chorus, and it was really cool.
Yeah,
that was one where we weren't even writing it together. I was at my house, he was at his, and we kind of put a song together.
But yeah, it just turned out so cool.
That's a different one, but it's one of our favorites.
Yeah, big fan of that.
All right. So how do we propel you two to national fame?
Well, I don't know, Sully. That's your call. Aren't you going to ship this off to California or New York or wherever?
Sure. Have to get on YouTube. Back when I was in college, I used to kind of work with a lot of bands. Do some for promotion, usually for community events. And one of the bands, they got their song done. They got it to a local radio station, and they had 200 of their friends waiting for this song. So when it came on, their friends would start calling this radio station hey, play that song again, Nice. And so the radio station did, more and more, and then another radio station would catch up on, hey, why is this getting to be a hit? So they...
That's what we gotta do.
I know, yeah. Forget the release party, we're just telling people, call into the radio station.
Man, that would be a monumental moment for us. If we could hear it on the radio.
Yeah, just to hear something on the radio would be the coolest thing.
Yeah. Or YouTube, you get it on YouTube, but you got to do something wacky to get it.
Right, yeah. It's not just the song that's going to catch fire. It's going to have to be push Norman into the lake or something.
Yeah. Classic. Do it every week anyways.
Parachute from a mile high or something.
Yeah.
There you go.
We're going to come up with a brainstorming session here. What can we put?
You got a marketing degree, right?
Who's asking?
I'm asking.
Oh.
You need to market this thing.
Hey man, I'm doing what I can here, alright? God, boss is always on my ass over here.
All right, I'm going to zoom down to this poster here because PR Stunt is going to be appearing at the Backroads Saloon on March 6th with Chameleon. Ta-da-ta-ta. And come on, everybody. Backroads is local. Tell us about this event.
Well, it's Chameleon. It's a band Norman's in with my dad, his dad, and a phenomenal guitar player named Crispin Bocanegra. And they have been playing the Marshall scene for a couple of years now. Yeah.
Chameleon, yeah, but I mean, my dad,
Right.
my dad, his dad, and Crispin, I mean, they've been, growing up around
25
here. Yeah,
years.
they've been playing around here for their entire lives,
But
basically, so.
Chameleon's a phenomenal band these guys put together, and it's a treat just to see them. But we're going to be giving our album away that night as well.
Yeah.
And we're going to hopefully get up and do a couple of our songs with Chameleon, which would be really cool just to play them live for the first time.
Yeah.
And it should be a really good time. Backroads always a great place to go just to hang out, and with this great music out there, it should be a great time for all.
Yeah. We can't say enough too about Backroads because it was very cool that I reached out to the people there. Don Johnson, great guy, but he was totally down for the idea, and he's very local oriented. So he's down for helping anybody who's kind of in the area here, and give us such a cool venue to play at. So.
They are it's a beautiful venue. What a big place.
It is.
And what a great dance floor. But
Great dance floor, great lights, great sound system. Their sound guy, who I've had the pleasure of meeting and working with a couple times. He's he not only runs the sound, but he actually owns the sound business, and they're a huge company that kind of supplies a lot of people. But basically, that guy is just the best sound guy I've ever dealt with, and that's coming from a real critical ear. But he is, just a hell of a sound guy. So I mean, the whole package that they have there, just bar, dance floor, lights, stage. I mean, it's
Friendly staff. It's awesome there. I love that place.
Yeah, definitely one of the best places in the Southwest Michigan area to play at. I'm pumped and privileged that we can play there. So.
I know.
And do our release party there. So.
I know. It's been 2 months in the making, and can't wait to finally hand out our album to all the music fans out there.
Yeah.
all right, so March 6th is the premiere of PR Stunt.
That's right.
Correct.
6 at 9. But
And that'll be Friday night, 9 o'clock.
yeah.
Very good.
People are probably going to want to get there early because
All right.
I got a big family and they come to support. So.
The release party, is that at
That'll be
Backroads?
Yeah, that'll be. So Chameleon will be playing, and in between breaks and stuff, we'll probably be playing our music over the sound system, and as well as hopefully probably getting up and playing some on stage, and then Chameleon will actually be playing the rest of the night and playing. I mean, we were originally scheduled to play there, and then PR Stunt, since our album's coming out right around the same time, and Chameleon's been on hiatus for about a month and a half. We figured this was just kind of an easy way to do it all, kill two birds with one stone. It's like we can have a release party, and Chameleon will be playing anyways. I mean, it's just Chameleon's already fun time anyways, so might as well pass out some CDs while we're at it.
That was a good call.
Yeah.
Well, with you two doing so much on the LP, to do live performances for PR Stunt, you're going to have to bring in a couple more guys, huh?
Yeah.
Or gals or whatever.
Yeah, for when we finally get the band together, we're gonna need full rhythm section, and
I'm gonna want horns. I mean, I'm gonna want dancers. I mean, I've got a
Backup
long
singers,
list of
yeah,
stuff.
right.
Bags
Fireworks,
of,
yeah. Sure.
Bags of Skittles at all my shows, only the purple ones.
Yeah.
If there's any other colors. So.
Picky. We're gonna need a drummer and a bass player for sure, and maybe another guitar player, but who knows? We're working on recording right now and kind of spreading the word. And when we finally get a band together, it'll be a fun thing. That'll be a fun project to get to play our music live.
All right. One last thing, and I ask this of a lot of musicians. We're talking to now someone in high school, junior high school, that's interested in music and getting a band together. What do you have to tell them?
Personally, coming from my point of view, just because I got into music sort of late in high school, and And I don't know, really, if you're going to get into it, I guess, I don't know.
I would say don't rush it. Like, I was involved in a band in high school, and it was fun and all, but we didn't have a lot of pressure. We weren't, you know, looking for gigs, and we were playing in the basement, and it was, you know, some of the best times of my life. Just playing down there, no audience but ourselves, and it was a great time. It was a great learning lesson, and you know, I might not have been ready at the time, but just I kept progressing on my own until I got to the point to where I was ready to play, you know, in front of audiences and collaborate with other people. If you're, you know, if you're ready to do it in high school, then, you know, that's as good a time as any. I mean,
Yeah.
just I know that I wasn't developed enough to be the front man in a band. I was a drummer at the time, but I don't know if I was ready for the pressure of the band lifestyle. I love recording and making music in my living room.
Yeah, and that's what I think is so cool about music, and that whoever's going to get into it, is that there really is no right or wrong in music, which to me was just kind of the coolest thing. And that really like came to light the biggest it ever has. I think the first time I ever went over to record at his place, because he's got this huge computer screen, and on it is just a blank sheet, and it was like, dude, this is like a canvas. Like, we can literally do anything we want on here. Sonically, we can do anything we want, and nobody has any right to tell us, you know, that's wrong or it's right. You know, it's like, this is just between me and him, and writing whatever we feel like. And it's like, that to me was just the coolest thing. So I mean, in a big sense, there is no real right or wrong in music. I think there's paths you can, I mean, you want to improve yourself in music and whatever you're doing in it. But as far as, you know, being right or wrong, it's just the coolest type of freedom in that sense, that there is no right or wrong. So.
All right, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, March 6th at the Backroad Saloon, PR Stunt. We'll be there with Chameleon. And a big release party.